Your beloved Portland Trailblazers played in Utah yesterday.
They did, huh?
You guys want to, You want to give me let me give my props? Told you guys.
I hope you bet it. The odds were kind of decent.
I did not bet it. No, I didn't bet it. I didn't actually watch most of it, but I did see Shaden had himself a hell of a game. He went for 37. He was 6 of 12 from 3.
What are you scoring over? How many did he have in overtime?
Well, about that.
Oh,
the Blazers.
I saw he had. I didn't watch any of the game. I saw he had 37.
Yes,
he was 5 of 10 from the free throw line. Like, be better.
Yeah.
But.
Especially late, clutch time.
Yeah, well, they blew their lead. They had a lead in this game most of the way. And Utah came back, tied the game, and then Tamani on the final play got a great pass from Tease, missed the layup. He had a layup, and he smoked it, turned the ball, put the wrong spin on it. It rims out, horn goes off, they go to overtime. We did not see Shaden Sharp in overtime. So the Blazers were quite literally a layup away from beating Utah at the horn.
And then decided to tank?
And then went to overtime and said, well, let's pack it in now. We couldn't win. We're going to lose on purpose. And Shaden Sharp did not come back. He did not play in overtime. And it was a lot of Chris Murray. You know what I mean? Like, they got to overtime and they said, it's Chris Murray time.
I love how bad this team is at tanking, man. Can anybody make sense of that?
Well, they used to be good at it.
We used to be good at it. We would play a bunch of garbage cans and plumbers for the last 2 months of the season, and it was great. With better draft odds. Now, can somebody explain to me the idea behind trying to win a game in regulation and then getting to overtime and deciding to tank? Can anybody make sense of that?
I can't, because I was going to play you this clip, because this happened last night, by the way, and it helps the Portland Trailblazers, but this happened last night.
Harrison Barnes launching a three. Got it! The Spurs win the walk-off. HB got some separation and bottoms the game winner right there.
So there's Warriors TV. The Spurs, via Harrison Barnes, somehow beat the Golden State Warriors, who everybody was picking to go win the Western Conference, and people were telling me Steph's the GOAT. They beat the Warriors in Golden State at the buzzer. And so with that, it's interesting. You've got San Antonio. You're probably not going to catch the Spurs there.
You're 2 back. You need them to lose both their final 2, or win their last 2 games. You need to lose your last 2 games.
So here's an interesting little note, because we're in the tank race now, right? Portland clearly tried to lose that game once it got to overtime.
Yeah, they are 1-2, by the way, against San Antonio. So San Antonio has the tiebreaker over you.
They play Golden State Friday. Golden State is still playing for playoff positioning, so they will be bringing the full arsenal to Portland. And then your final game is Sunday against the Lakers. The Lakers may or may not have anything to play for. But on that note, the Spurs and the Suns lost last night to the Thunder. Their season's in hell. Boy, you want to talk about bad things? I'm just going to say this to you because I saw this graphic on the Suns broadcast. Yeah. Get this. So the Suns, they put up a graphic. Oldest team in the NBA.
Yeah, not good.
Highest payroll. We know they're not going to make the playoffs. And how about this kicker? This was on the graphic. Don't own their first-round pick until 2032.
Oof, da.
2032. This is why I would say I would trade Devin Booker.
You have to blow it all up.
I would blow it completely out of the universe.
You can get a good haul. Somebody's going to give you stuff for Kevin Durant. I know he's old, but somebody's going to give you stuff.
Not great stuff.
Not great stuff, but you'll get stuff. Booker, you can get good stuff
Yeah.
for. That needs to be a total rebuild.
But the Suns and the Spurs play each other next.
They do.
So the Suns don't have any reason to tank because the Rockets own their pick, as we addressed yesterday.
I don't think they're trying to. I think they just suck, and Kevin Durant's out, and they've quit on the season.
But the other side of that is they don't care. And so, and the Spurs, I thought, didn't care, and then they cared last night. So, you got a chance here to either move up a spot or get to 9. Now, will it happen? I don't know, because Portland's clearly not going to try against Golden State and the Lakers.
Yeah.
But Phoenix, San Antonio play each other. So I guess the worst case scenario would be you lose out, San Antonio beats Phoenix, but then loses their last game. I believe it's Sacramento.
Let me check.
And then Phoenix loses out, and so you don't. Well, I guess in that scenario, would you be 10th if Phoenix?
I don't know.
With the same record.
This is all getting confusing to me now. Who's on first?
Because I don't think you would.
San Antonio's last game is at home against Toronto. That's their last game. They got Phoenix on Friday and then Toronto on Sunday.
So I don't know if the Spurs are going to end on a 3-game winning streak here, but maybe you pass the Spurs. but also maybe you don't, and maybe Phoenix ends up passing you
And
a tiebreaker.
also, maybe the Lakers have nothing to play for on Sunday, and you find a stupid reason to win that game because we do stupid things from time to time in this city. So,
Swag, we have the tiebreaker on Phoenix, correct?
I believe so. I will double check.
Because I'm looking at the standings right now, and it has Phoenix ahead of us, even though they have the same record.
yeah, so I'm assuming the Suns beat us the majority of the times in the regular season.
We
when
beat them
played
twice in Portland. I remember that. It was back-to-back games.
Yes, it was. The 1st and 3rd of February. I'll see if there's any other games earlier in the season. I'm scrolling through. They lost to them back in December, and they lost to them in November.
So it's a split.
So it's a split.
So based
so
on
then
the
you go to
tie-
like conference record. I don't know what the next tiebreaker
So
is.
Portland could be sitting comfortably in the 9th seed.
That's right where you want to be. That's a great way to end your year. I love that they know how to tank, but not in regulation, but in overtime, and also not in the middle of March when there's only a month to go in the season and you're not going to make the playoffs and you win 4 games in a row when you could have locked all this up about a month ago. I love all of this. They're doing it very well.
I thought the funny part of this was we're winning. We missed the game-winning shot. Let's lose. None of it makes sense. I just don't.
I mean,
it does make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to tank a game in overtime when you tried to win the game at the end of regulation.
Well, it does for this reason. San Antonio won last
You
night.
were a Kamara layup away from winning the game.
Okay,
then out of nowhere, you
Yeah.
simply decide, you know what? Yeah, let's go lose the game.
We won't agree on everything on this, right? We kind of agree on the
There's
overall
no
philosophy.
strategy. That's the problem.
Well, there is no strategy. But what I would say is, wouldn't you be more angry, Mr. Angry Pants, today, even though you're eating your master's food? I think you'd be in a good mood. Wouldn't you be more angry today had they played Shaden to go win the game?
Oh, without a doubt. They shouldn't have played him in the first place. He shouldn't have been in the lineup at all.
That's fine, but he went for 37, baby.
That doesn't matter. You're playing a G League roster.
In on a high. In on a high.
No, you can't have it both ways. This is ridiculously dumb. It made no sense to play guys last night. It makes no sense to play guys at all at this point in the season.
But they did what you wanted them to do. They lost the game.
Yeah, congratulations. You're a Kamara layup away. You should have done this a month ago. And in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. It means literally nothing.
When they do what
I'm
you
not going to
want,
get
you
excited
mad.
about the 9th best odds in the draft lottery. I'm not lowering my bar to that level to act like that's an accomplishment in the final week of the regular
You need to
season.
enjoy your cocktail.
Yay, ninth worst record. We did it, guys.
Boy, you slept on the wrong side of
We
the
have a
bed.
3% chance.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
going
not-
to be
I'm
me
just-
when
dude,
we win the lottery.
That's like, this is ridiculous.
yeah.
It's just like bragging about me running a 20-minute mile. I did it, guys. I did it. That's not something to brag about, man. That's not something to brag about.
Boy, you know how slow you'd have to walk 20-minute mile?
Yeah.
They've lost. It's over. The season's over. The fact that people are still playing is laughable. I'm happy that they lost the game.
Well,
I don't
who's
think it's gonna.
playing?
They got to suit up 9, I
Yeah, they
think.
got to play, guys.
Where's
Kamara and
the
Shea.
Rip City Remix roster at? How many they got on that roster? All of a sudden, Manaya's in the lineup. He came out of nowhere. So why wasn't he playing a month ago?
Oh, you're such
G
an
League
angry
season's
man.
over.
Yeah. You
They're
two
in
people are right. You're
Cancun.
so
Yeah,
angry.
bring them up to the bring them up to the big leagues. We do that in baseball. You expand your damn rosters in September.
Wait
Get
till
them
we
up.
draft Dylan Harper and we got Ant, Scoot, and Harper on the court.
I can't wait because we know Anthony Simons is not going to get traded.
A three-point guard lineup.
He's going to play his entire career in Portland, and Scoot and Shaden in year 3 and 4 of their careers
It's
will
like
probably
baseball
still be
teams, it's
coming
like,
off the bench.
I'm just drafting shortstops. I'll figure it out.
Every time. We'll eventually move you to left field down the line.
Didn't the Angels have a draft where they just drafted all pitchers?
Yes. Yes.
We need some arms.
We
We're
should
desperate
just
for
keep
arms
drafting
right now.
point guards.
Let's keep going
Finally,
after.
we found it. The next magic.
I mean, look, I get that they technically could catch San Antonio. You know what would have helped catching San Antonio? Losing games. I mean, just doing this more than the last 4 games of the regular season would have helped.
San Antonio, if they're wise, will not try to win the last game against Toronto because Toronto can't move up and Toronto can't move back.
San Antonio's. I mean, they just won last night against Golden State. So I don't know.
If you were a Spurs fan, you'd be Mr. Angry Pants in San Antonio.
Without a doubt, would be Mr. Angry Pants because
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
Don't
to
put
be-
more pressure on that
to
pick.
be winning games at this point in
know.
the season. None of this matters. The season's over on Sunday.
Swag, what did Herm Edwards say? Why do we play games?
You play to win the game.
Exactly. Unless you go to overtime and then you play to lose the game.
Then you
because
lose the game.
At that point, it's over.
Yeah, what was the excuse? Minutes? Oh, guys, we're at too many minutes. You played Shaden for like 17 minutes a game for 2 months of the year. Now he's at too many minutes? All
I
right.
really will not
Got it.
want Cooper on Utah. I hate Utah. I hate the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, it's going to be funny when all of a sudden that turns around in like 2 years and Cooper Flag is a Jazz.
Well,
Because they did it right this year.